Hey everyone, welcome to the tutorial on how to make this coffee sleeve cell phone holder tripod. So it's a small tripod and but yeah, it's expandable to make it taller. So let's go ahead and go through some of the features of this. So this features 4 interlocking cell phone, coffee sleeves, and basically a little section here to hold your cell phone, and it'll allow you to hold the cell phone at an elevated height while keeping it straight so that you can take some photography in a direction. It can point slightly upwards or downwards, and that's adjustable depending on how you cut the top sleeve. So let's go ahead and go into this build. One of the primary points of this build is just these interlocking pieces. I built it this way because with these interlocking pieces, it gives you the most amount of height while still keeping it pretty rigid. Just like a quick example, if you were to take 2 coffee sleeves and you were to fit one into the other, you can tell that you get a much lower amount of height with those 2 stacked together. So this is possible build if you were just to stack coffee sleeves together in a regular kind of way, but it would just take a lot more, and I don't know that it would be quite as rigid. So that's where we're going to start. So we're going to go ahead and just start with creating these interlocking pieces here, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how. So for each one of the interlocking pieces, we're going to start with a coffee sleeve. We're going to start by squaring it off by folding it basically against the perforation. So we have the perforation here in the middle, and we're going to try to line it up with the perforation on the other side to make a square. And when I say make a square, I mean make a square because after you fold it, it'll become a nice square. So next part is that we're going to cut the tabs out. The tabs for this build, they actually go on the bottom of each of the coffee sleeves. The top is uncut, so it's just the bottom. And that's what we're going to do here. So this is the sleeve, and let me adjust the camera a little bit. Okay, so this is the sleeve, and so what we're going to do is that since this wider section is going to be the bottom, we're going to cut 2 tabs on either side. The goal of cutting the tabs is just to make a tab that's in between each of these 2 sections, equal distance from each of the sides. And so I'm considering this the middle here, so I want a tab on each side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this with a knife. You can feel free to use scissors if you'd like. It might be a little bit easier. But my pocket knife is pretty sharp, so it's not too bad for me. So that's our first tab, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so you can tell that as I was doing these cuts, they're not perfectly precise, but that is no problem whatsoever. So that is what you're going to do, and you're going to do that 2 more times until you have a couple of additional ones, just like I do here. So now these are the 3, okay, that you need to cut. The final one of this 4-tier sleeve does not actually need to be cut. It just needs to be folded. So we're going to go ahead and leave that alone. And this will be our base, which says just folded, it's not cut. So for each of these, they interlock by alternating squares. So each of the squares alternate. So this is a square, it alternates. So that's how it works, that's how it keeps rigid. As you're folding these in, you're just going to go ahead and take each tab, and you want to fold it into the corner of the square corner below it. And so it's going to look like this, and it might be a little bit fussy when you're first trying to put it in, but that's okay, it'll always fit. And so that's what it's going to look like. Okay, and so that is what we're going to do. And so this is the middle section. We're going to go ahead and do the cut for the top of the tripod holder. So we're going to do these 2 edges. So the top tripod holder has this cuts for the tabs below it. It also has the tripod holder above it. And so for that, what we're going to go ahead and do is, once again, we're going to have this perforation in the middle, and then we're going to go ahead and make sure that we align ourselves to that, and let's make sure the perforations are on the edge, and then we're going to cut in the middle. We don't want to cut along the perforation because that's the weak part of the sleeve. The sleeve will tend to break if we're going to cut it over there. So we're going to cut out a tab, and this basically is going to be the width of your cell phone. This is probably about between half an inch to a quarter inch for me. I'm holding an iPhone 6s Plus with a with a cell phone protector on it, and so it's So it's going to be about that wide. And so we're going to go ahead, after we cut that, we're going to go fold these tabs in. And then let's go ahead with the final assembly. So once again, tabs fitting inside and corners exposed, tabs fitting inside, corners exposed, tabs fitting inside, corners exposed. And so that is the top tier, and the final section will go on just the same. And we'll go ahead and do it this way. We're gonna go and flip this upside down. It might be a little bit easier to do it like this. And so I'm just trying to get it so that the camera is in view here. Almost done. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so that is it, and that's the completed product. On the top, let's go ahead and see if it can hold our cell phone. And you can see it certainly can. And it's pretty stable. We can see that it did. Even if we hold it and if we rock it a little bit, it won't fall. It's a square base. It's pretty much probably as solid as this is going to get. And point is that when you go ahead and use this, and let me just adjust my camera over here a little bit, it will hold your cell phone, and you can see it'll kind of hold it diagonally, slightly point it up, and yeah, and obviously it can hold it straight. And so it's just useful as any other small tripod would be, but we can make it with just coffee sleeves, so pretty simple. Okay, so that is the coffee sleeve mini tripod build. Go ahead and leave any comments or questions you have below in the comments section. Once again, thank you for watching. Bye.